Thank you so much. Hi, my name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. Happy Monday to everybody. I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm going to take a break from true crime tonight, and I'm going to present something that I hope that you guys enjoy. It's comical, and it's a little break from the monotony and the viciousness of some of the viciousness that we've been talking about the last couple of days. So, without further ado, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Have you ever been curious about what pets do when left alone? Well, today we're going to find out. This is an exclusive peek into the secret lives of pets. Let's get it on. Tofu's love language is gift-giving. That's probably why he always brings home the most random things he finds on the street.
Have you guys ever had a cat that did that? That brought random stuff to the house and you're like always finding something different every time? Let me know in the chat.
The owners don't feel like getting out of bed at 6 a.m., but that didn't stop this dog from going on his morning walk.
What are you doing? You're turning my camera.
These animals are so smart. Look at this animal there. Opening up the air fryer.
Play this video for your dog and ask him why he pretends he can't be like this. I couldn't get mad at this dog. He escaped from his cage just to watch some TV.
Excuse me. Gucci, what did you do? What did you do?
Who do you think's smarter, cats or dogs?
Oh my God, dude, where are you going? How are you going to manage this?
Or turtles?
And he's trying like there's no tomorrow, huh? Oh, there he goes. I think he's got it. Oh, no.
Would you be mad if you saw these goats jumping all over your vehicle like that? I know I'd be mad. I'd be furious. I'd be furious, man.
Oh.
Look at this right here.
Charlie, stop it. Charlie. Charlie. Stop it. Charlie, go lay down.
At least now the owners know their dog is a reliable and loyal friend.
Charlie!
The only downside about pet cameras is watching your furry friend begging for you to come home.
What did you do?
This parrot came up with something shocking, but obviously genius. I'm pretty sure that's how evolution happened.
Look at this. Apparently, even at cat gyms, securing a spot on the treadmill can be a challenge. Well, that one cat.
Hola gente, muy buenos días, ¿cómo andan? Bueno, nosotros acá muy bien. Acá lo encontré a preguntarle. Yo escuchaba la motosierra hoy. Estaba volteando una planta, loco. Ese es un laurel que se estaba mandando en la macana, así que bueno.
On this farm, the rule is simple. If you live here, you work.
Compañero, hoy nos repartimos, él salió para un lado, yo salí para el otro. ¿Cómo andás? Preguntale, ¿todo bien? ¿Andás dando rollo? ¿Ya está terminando? Sí. Acá dándole una mano a preguntarle, ¿qué día feo? ¿Qué temporal?
Yeah, you work there.
Día
You
de
gotta,
temporal acá, la
gotta
verdad.
pay your way.
Horrible, dándonos rollo.
Check this out. This cat tripped me out. This one.
I don't think I need to spell out what's on the line in this fight, do I?
I'm sure outside for a week. Why's the bed there?
The owners of this dog were baffled about how their huge pet kept escaping, so they checked the security footage.
Oh, gotta get up there.
We get it. Even I get distracted by the TV sometimes and forget what I was doing.
Malcolm, be gentle.
Can you tell them? Can they hear you?
Be good to your sister. Hi, babies.
They're all tripping out. Look at this. You sleep like I do. Boom. Wouldn't you die knowing your cat wiped its butt all over your
Meow.
Rumor has it all cats act weird when they see this video. Try it with your cat and let us know what happens in the comments. Have you ever found something weird in your food? This cat took it to the next level by finding a hedgehog in his dinner. In their place, I'd also wait in the car for the fight to be over. Remember, if you hesitate too long, someone else might snatch up that shelter cat. Or the cat might just take off on his own.
Mais qu'est-ce que tu fais? Hey, qu'est-ce que tu fais?
In this house, whoever makes the most mess is on cleanup duty.
开始洗拖布。
Classic sibling behavior. One brother does something wrong and the other covers for them to avoid getting in trouble. This cat's reaction says it all. He's definitely not from around here.
Come on, bud.
An effective way to get your humans to finally come out and play with you. If it weren't for the camera, the police would still be looking for the mysterious car thief. This dog figured it was better to leave than hear his owners complain about his scent.
So would you trip out and think you've been burglarized if you came home to this mess, if you didn't know any better? If you didn't think your animals were making this kind of mess while you were at work or gone?
This cat doesn't even need a key.
My mom had a little dog like that.
Yay! Junebug, you got it.
Look at this. Look at this.
Who would have thought a bird feeder would attract such a rare specimen?
صباح الخير زعيم. نوض 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 بلاد مقلوبة لبرا نوض 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 شوي معلم نوض نوض البلاد مقلوبة نوض تنوض تنوض تبيش نوض.
After watching videos like this, I start to think monkeys are more human-like than we give them credit for.
He's definitely smart. Yeah, definitely smart. Look at that.
The life we all secretly wish for.
Safada.
He's probably thinking, wow, my owners are so kind. They set up this table just for me.
Come on. Come on. Come here. Come. Come down. Come on. What's up? Oh.
You can't keep a true gangster locked up for long. Even chickens can't have a meal these days without watching videos online.
A rooster watching Bluey.
Wow.
We've all had our moments of terrible boredom. Even the fox knows that hiding nice wooden furniture under blankets and cushions is a crime. This is what our pets get up to while we're out earning their food. Now all he needs is a tiny helmet and some tiny elbow pads.
How many of y'all would trip out if you were at work and you saw your cat like staring into the camera like that? Wouldn't that be a trip? Watching your animals all day long? You might see some stuff you might not want to see. I have some other stuff I want to show you guys. Nothing to do with animals, but cameras nonetheless. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm broadcasting live to Facebook. I'm also broadcasting to YouTube as well. So you Facebook peeps, hope you are doing all right. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to start with this one first. Be sure to hit a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I know it's not really that exciting, but it's a break from true crime. So here we go.
On November 30th, 2021, a woman in Dallas posted footage of a man standing outside her apartment door late at night. This incident, which was captured by her Ring doorbell camera, raised significant concerns as the man had been stalking her and standing outside her door almost every night. She stated that she has contacted the police about this problem she's been dealing with since October 31st, but according to her, not much was done from the authorities to keep this man away. Here is what she recorded.
I've never caught anything like this on camera. Have y'all? If you have, share your stories with some of the stuff that you've caught on camera that maybe kind of mess with you a little bit and you were kind of like, what is that? Share your stories with the chat. This guy was just checking out this apartment, stalking this woman.
In the videos that are shown, the man just stands there while occasionally talking to himself. At one point, you can see a beer in his hand before he walks away. Minutes later, he returns to the door stumbling, seemingly drunk. He then grabs the door handle in an attempt to enter the woman's apartment. On December the 2nd, she posted an update stating that she is now safe and that security guards of the apartment are regularly patrolling the halls, making sure she's okay. This next video captures the shocking incident involving a middle-aged Asian couple targeted in what appears to be a follow-home-style robbery by a masked man wielding a gun. This alarming event took place in southern Seattle, Washington. The footage was initially shared on Reddit by user Wilmock. Here's what their Ring camera captured. The woman noticed the intruder just in time and swiftly locked the door, preventing him from entering the home. Shortly afterward, the man noticed the Ring camera and began to destroy it. To make matters even more frightening, just before the camera cut off, it revealed that the intruder was not acting alone. Shortly after the video was posted, it quickly garnered attention with numerous Reddit users. They pointed out a disturbing pattern of a string of similar robberies occurring in the area. These concerns were later substantiated by local news outlets in Seattle.
This video shows one of the crimes that were part of a frightening spree last year across South Seattle. Tonight, 2 men accused of taking part in these robberies now face hate crime charges. Thursday, King County prosecutors charged Chavez Tubbs and DeMarcus Pate, saying the two targeted Asian households. And
that's why it's always great to be mindful of your surroundings, due to anything like this can happen to anyone. And most of the time, if you're carrying groceries in, or you're not paying attention to your surroundings and someone targeting you, this can happen so quickly.
in some cases, forced their way in while identifying themselves as Seattle police.
This next incident occurred on May 8th, 2022 in Houston, Texas, when a man identified as 29-year-old Joshua Deloach enters the house and confronts his roommate Justin Iwuji with a weapon.
What? Yeah. Huh? On your knees. Bro, on your knees now. On your knees. Bro, on your knees. What's the issue? I'm not gonna say it one more time. Bro, what's the issue? On your knees. Now. What's the issue? I'm not. What's the issue? On your knees. Now. What's the issue? What's the issue? You. Be quiet.
Immediately after this incident, Joshua Deloach stole $6,000 in jewelry from his roommate and then proceeded to tie him up and forced him in the trunk of his own car.
This morning, a man charged with robbing and kidnapping his own roommate finally arrested.
A wild story, and this man is now expected in court coming up this morning. 29-year-old Joshua Deloach seen here in this surveillance home video, accused of pointing a gun at his roommate earlier this month when he was asked to pay his rent or get out. He allegedly stole $6,000 and jewelry from his roommate, then tied up his roommate and put him in the trunk of his own car.
Luckily, Justin managed to escape with the help of a bystander. Joshua Deloach was arrested about 2 weeks later, on May 20th of that year.
I mean, can you imagine trusting your roommate and they come in and rob you like that? They rob you for $6,000 and your jewelry and tie you up, put you in the trunk, and leave you for whatever was going to happen to you. Man, how mad would you be at this person? How mad would you be?
Late one night in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a woman named Savannah captured something absolutely terrifying on her Ring camera. At around 10:20 p.m., a man appeared at her front door. He began violently slamming his body against the woman's door, trying to force his way inside. After several attempts, the man stumbled back and fell over the porch railing. Terrified, the woman calls the police. Here's what happened. The Myrtle Beach Police Department reported that the officers took the man to the hospital for treatment and was later arrested. It's quite obvious the man was under the influence of drugs or was possibly having some sort of manic episode. Either way, this would have been terrifying to experience. This next video shows a bizarre moment that occurred in January 2019 in the city of Salinas, California. The man, identified as Roberto Daniel Arroyo, was recorded by a Ring doorbell camera as he spent several hours in the early morning licking the doorbell of the family's home. The homeowners, who were not at home at the time, were alerted to the unusual activity through the Ring system's motion detection feature. Here's what it recorded. The Salinas Police Department used the video evidence to identify Arroyo, who has been cited by the department in the past. Arroyo faced misdemeanor charges related to prowling and theft. But the primary concern for many was the clear need for mental health intervention given the nature of his actions. This is truly disturbing. This next video shows a man peering in the window of a 22-year-old model from Florida. She installed a Ring camera on her front door and shortly after caught footage of the stalker creeping around her house. The man appeared minutes after she arrived home, indicating he was likely following her.
See, this is what I've always said in the Idaho 4 case. Look at this guy. The person who's in there has no clue that he's walking around her house. She's 22 years old. He's walking around her house trying to look in until she figured it out and she got a Ring camera. And then she figured out somebody was peeping on her. It wasn't until she caught him that she realized that somebody was looking in on her. Up until then, she had no clue he was around her house. No clue at all.
Despite repeated reports to the police, no action was taken, and the stalker returned a week later. Feeling unsafe, the woman has since moved away from the area. This next video shows the terrifying moment a man broke into a family's home. The man, later identified as Jonathan Gonzalez, entered the home while a mother and her baby were asleep. The home security camera recorded him quietly moving around the bedroom before approaching the sleeping woman and behaving inappropriately. Police identified Gonzalez, who was a former friend of the family, as a suspect early on, but lacked solid evidence until they conducted a search of his home. They found clothing matching what was seen in the footage and digital evidence placing him at the scene. This case was so disturbing it garnered widespread media coverage. In this video, you can see a strange man sneaking up to the ground floor window of a 24-year-old woman's duplex in Hudson, Wisconsin. The footage, captured by a doorbell camera, shows the strange man getting extremely close to the window as he peers through the woman's blinds. This occurred on at least 3 separate nights before his arrest. The women that lived here only noticed something suspicious was happening because of the footprints the man left in the snow that led to their window. The man in the video, who was later identified as Robert Cecina, was the executive president of the 3M company at the time.
An executive at 3M is accused of stalking a woman and peeping in her home's windows.
This case started when the victims opened their blinds and saw footprints in the snow by the ground level windows. Then they put up a video camera that caught the man returning. Hudson police responded.
Isn't that crazy? So it doesn't matter what position people hold in their professional lives. If they're going to want to peep or look and they think they can get away with it, they're going to do it. This guy was the president at 3M. Didn't stop him.
that when a neighbor saw a man outside the home who looked just like the person in the video, which was captured and circulated among neighbors the night before. Police say they traced the vehicle leaving the scene to Cessna, and in the criminal complaint, write that Robert looked exactly like the person in their surveillance camera footage, especially his hairline. Cessna denied it was him, but police say his story conflicts with his wife's story about what they did that night. According to police, several neighborhood witnesses helped them identify Cessna and his vehicle. Prosecutors charged Cessna with felony stalking. 4 women, including a teenage girl, were living inside. But rather than take the case to trial, the St. Croix County District Attorney offered a plea deal that will likely leave Cessna with a clean criminal record. The stalking charge is dropped, and instead, less serious misdemeanor trespassing and disorderly conduct charges added.
To the crime of disorderly conduct, count 2, what is your plea?
No contest.
Cessna pleaded no contest, meaning he admits there's evidence to convict him, but a conviction won't go on his record unless he reoffends in the next 3 years.
Disappointed.
This mother and 16-year-old daughter live in that home and say despite this not being a serious crime in the eyes of the law, it's had a very serious impact on them.
I'm a lot more jumpy. You look under your car, around your car, at the corner side of your house before you go in. We carry mace.
They're also upset the court process didn't reveal Cessna's motivation. Cessna technically is not on probation. He's going to be monitored by the St. Croix County District Attorney's Office. And again, they will dismiss the charges if he goes 3 years without reoffending.
Okay, I'm going to show another one. What do y'all think about those Ring door cameras? Isn't it interesting what they capture? When you hear a bump in the night, sometimes you think it's an animal, and sometimes you think it's a cat. Sometimes you think, no, it's nothing big. Can't live life in fear, but you know, for whatever reason, it's always a good thing to have some kind of surveillance. Here's another one. So this video is intended for educational purposes and shows why exactly you should be careful who you open your door to and to never open your door to a stranger late at night.
This is a part 3 to the scariest things caught on doorbell cameras. And once again, by the end of the video, you may consider getting one yourself. In this footage that a viewer sent me, a person can be seen crouch walking towards his front door through his doorbell camera. The person was wearing a hat, face mask, and sunglasses, allowing none of his face to be seen. After trying to open the front door and failing, the person starts to fiddle with the doorbell, noticing it's a video doorbell, so he probably tries to take it off. What likely happened was that when he realized that he couldn't get the doorbell unmounted without a special screwdriver, he started to hold his hand in front of the camera after ringing the bell. The viewer told me that this happened at 2 in the morning, and so when he heard his doorbell and ring notification go off, he instantly went to his phone to check to see exactly what you're seeing. The man then walks past the doorbell to the side of the house, and by this point, the homeowner was on the phone with 911 reporting the incident. While on the phone with 911, the homeowner heard the doorknob to the side entrance door being fiddled with, and this was a door that he had been known to leave unlocked accidentally from time to time. However, luckily on this night, that wasn't the case. Since the intruder couldn't simply walk in through either door, he started to say hello repeatedly through the door.
And it's also a good thing to know the laws in your state, such as to stand your ground. If you do have a weapon, a firearm, it's always a good thing to know the laws in your state and how you can protect yourself in case somebody comes through that door. If they're fleeing and you shoot them in the back, that is not self-defense.
The door. in an off-putting tone that sounded so overly friendly that it was creepy. The 911 operator told the homeowner not to open the door or to even acknowledge the person. The person would then start to bang on the door for a few moments until seemingly giving up. The police showed up but couldn't help out much based on the video. Later that night, the homeowner received another notification that there was movement at his front door. When he checked the video feed, he couldn't see anyone. He still has no idea who was under that mask and glasses. This following footage was also captured by a viewer's doorbell camera at their old house, which is still active while he tries to sell it. One morning at around 4:30 a.m., his cameras detected a man running from across the street from his neighbor's home, across his front yard, and up to his front door. The man was naked, with one of his hands blocking his privates. The footage was caught from two angles.
I mean, some of this stuff, if I looked at the camera the next day and I saw this, I would be like, what kind of neighborhood am I living in? Like, where am I? I know that some of you live in very violent neighborhoods or violent cities where this stuff wouldn't shock you one bit. But I think overall, people would be shocked if they looked at their camera the next morning and they saw a naked man running through their yard, don't you think?
He was arrested a short while later by local police and was apparently high on crystal meth, and he had removed his clothing due to a fear of snakes being inside of his clothes, and he was running around the neighborhood knocking on doors and ringing doorbells yelling for help. The neighborhood is reportedly pretty quiet. The homeowner never had any sort of issues before this. In his words, he ran up my front yard onto my front porch and rang the doorbell. For the next minute or so, he was ringing the doorbell and knocking while pacing back and forth. He looked panicked, and his expression drifted from someone in pain to a look of pure crazy, and at one point said he needs help. After that, he ran off back into the night. The guy was picked up by an officer around 5 a.m. not far from his house. And this footage is why you always check who's at your door before you open it, especially if you have a doorbell camera. If someone who you don't know shows up to your door late at night, don't open it. Unfortunately, in this video, that's exactly what this homeowner did. Around 10 p.m. one night, a suspicious-looking hooded man approaches the front door of a random house rather quickly and aggressively, and he right away tries to open the door. After realizing it's locked, he goes to ring the doorbell. Disappointingly, the homeowner opens the door rather quickly instead of checking who's at his door at this hour first.
Hello. Hi. How are you, sir? Who are you? Aaron right now. How are you? Good. You need to leave. How far? Out there. What's the reason stairs from? What? What's the stone stairs here? Come on, where are you going? What's the stairs here? Goodbye, you.
The homeowner was likely too trusting a person, which put him in danger. Even his initial hi to the stranger at his door sounded overly friendly, considering the man was already creeping in the second the door was opened.
Hello. Hi.
Can you imagine you open the door and that man start to walk in? Hello, how y'all doing? Just came to invade your privacy and your space, and then gets mad when you push him out. Like, hey, I was being nice to you. Why were you being mean to me?
The homeowner pushes the man out, causing him to punch the glass of the door before it's even fully closed. The man then stands there for another minute or so, fiddling with the doorknob a few times, though the rest of the footage is cut off. The dialogue is near impossible to completely make out, but it seemed the man was under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and was likely attempting to burglarize the home. The homeowner called the police, but the man was gone by the time they arrived. It's unknown if he was found. This image was posted from the owner of a Ring camera in a Facebook group to caution others. The woman warned in her post to beware a strange man wearing a white mask lurking around the neighborhood after her camera caught him trying to look into her home a little after 10 p.m. one night. The woman said, "I just want my neighbors to be aware and safe. Please, if possible, share this post. Screenshots are welcome." Not sure what colors he was wearing, but had a hoodie and jeans on. The disturbing picture shows the man in the mask looking directly into the camera. This is exactly the type of image that you'd never want or expect to see come up on your doorbell camera footage. But it's also the kind of image that would make you sure as hell grateful that you had one. Neighbors of the woman also reported seeing the man walking around and approached their front doors. Thankfully, no one opened the door to him. On May 1st, 2020, around 9:40 p.m., around the beginning of the COVID lockdown, a 45-year-old dad, Raymond Hawkins, opened the door to who he believed to be a delivery driver dropping off a parcel. Due to new methods of delivery at the time because of COVID, the alleged delivery driver backed away from the front door to supposedly keep his distance and claimed he needed to take a picture of the package at the doorstep, something many delivery drivers must do for more expensive packages. At this time, the father had his guard down due to the fact that he had no idea the man in front of him wasn't a delivery driver, and that he was in fact part of a gang that was about to storm into his house, all of whom armed with knives. Christopher Sargent, the fake delivery driver, lunges at Raymond with a knife and attacks him when he goes to pick up the package, while 3 other masked men follow from behind. Muffled cries come from the house, as there's a struggle between Raymond, his wife, and the robbers. The robbers are only in the house for a few moments before being seen fleeing the house with thousands of dollars worth of items. Raymond and his son suffered non-life-threatening injuries, while his sons were described to be worse. 2 of the culprits would be arrested, Anthony Lascelles and Christopher Sargent, who were both charged with aggravated burglary and possession of a knife. The other 2 culprits were never found. One thing that can be learned from a lot of these videos is that some people will go to crazy lengths to trick other people. The major red flag in this case was that the supposed delivery was taking place at 9:40 p.m., which is way past the time any notable delivery company will deliver packages, usually the latest being 7 p.m. On April 10th, 2020, this was the footage taken by the Ring doorbell of a viewer's friend Kayla in a small California town. Kayla was being stalked by her crazy former friend Thomas, who became obsessed with her over time and would constantly express his alleged love for her, despite her telling him numerous times that she didn't feel the same way. The week that this footage was taken, Kayla was bombarded with texts and voicemails from Thomas. And as you can see, if you care to pause the video and read some of the texts, it starts with what seems to be Kayla accepting his apology for his behavior. However, as the texts and voicemails just keep coming in, she begins to realize how crazy he may be. What you're about to hear are some audio clips from different voicemails he's left on her phone after she had stopped answering him.
Hey, Kayla. Listen, I want to make sure you're not too worried about what happened at the party last week. I had an amazing time, and I think you're goddamn beautiful. And I'm sorry I got so sick. I wanted to come be with you while you were getting ready, and I was just so totally out of it, and I'm sorry. God, I think I might love you, and I'm so sorry, and I'm gonna give you some space. I want to be there for you and be there for you, and I can't get you out of my fucking head, and I want to be there for you. God damn it. So fucking, God damn it. And all I can do is think of you and want to be with you. And I want to be with you. I want to be your Flynn Rider, and I want to be everything to you. God damn it, babe. You're fucking amazing. You are amazing. You're my knight in shining armor, and I'm so fucking terrified of you. And God, I love you so much. So much. Please call me back. No, I lied. I'm not going to give you some space. I'm sorry. I'm coming over. I know you're up and thinking about me. I'm sorry. I'm fucking God. I'm not sorry.
I was muted, so I just said a whole bunch of stuff and nobody heard nothing. You know, I was saying, isn't just the type of guy that every girl dreams about having, one that, you know, relentlessly text messages and calls, and even though the female says they don't want anything to do with you and puts a restraining order on you, you still call and you still apologize and you still cuss and threaten, and you're coming over. Not creepy at all, is it? Not creepy at all.
God, I'm coming over. I'm already driving. I've been driving the whole time. God damn it. I'm coming over. I'm not going to give you space. I know you called me back. I saw that. Yep. I know you're up thinking about me. God damn it. Oh, God damn it. I'm coming over. One way or another, I'm coming over. Whatever.
Every female deserves to be loved like this. You deserve to have somebody tell you how important you are. And, you know, they just don't know. They're not in love with you back. You have to convince them that they can love you one day as much as you love them. Isn't that what you all want? Creepy or not creepy?
However, whatever. God, I'm coming over. I'll see ya. I'll be there in like 10 minutes or whatever. I'm in whatever. I'm coming over right now. Damn it. I'll see ya. Bye. I love you. Rough road. Oh, it's a rough road. Fuck you, Kayla. I am fucking crazy. God damn it. Fuck you. I'll drive into the field. God damn it. Things like that, huh? Fuck you. Fuck you, Kayla. I am goddamn crazy. I'm crazy for you. God damn it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I am crazy. Oh, that would be a cop. That would be a cop. We just don't know. All right. I'll settle. Anything for you, my queen. Anything for you. I'll settle. I'm going slow. My phone is dying anyway. I'm still going to drive by your house in the middle of the night, though. I dare you not to have your blinds open to check. I'm crazy. Maybe you'll never know if I did it. I'll do it.
The footage of him showing up to Kayla's house was right after one of his phone calls saying he's coming over, even though it was clear by this point she wanted nothing to do with him. Eventually, Kayla and her friend Ravon would find out that Thomas wasn't even his real name. His real name is Matthew. He'd been using the fake name Thomas Castle, which was a reference to the Marvel character The Punisher. Thomas was a reference to Thomas Jane, the second actor to play the Punisher, and Castle was a reference to Frank Castle, the Punisher's last name. The fact alone that he had been using a fake name with his friend and supposed love of his life was already a huge red flag, and maybe a sign that he was hiding something in his life. The ring footage was taken at 2 a.m, and after leaving, he would go on to send some more texts, which would progressively get angrier. 4 days after this footage was taken, Kayla and her friend went to the...
You're right. This behavior just isn't me. I'm sorry. I'll be here when you want to give me a ride again. I'll trust that you and Megan are here when I need your help too. I'm so sorry, honestly. Your dad's a good man. You're safe and you're my best friend. And you didn't touch ankles with me at the party so deeply. It still twitches when I think of you. And you didn't make me wait on you. And you're not BFS forever. And I was just hanging out with someone I thought was my friend too. Remember how interested you were?
A restraining order. He left her alone about a month or so after the restraining order was put into place. Kayla blocked his number and blocked him on social media, and reportedly he basically disappeared from the world, and no one knows where he is now.
You better watch out, Melissa. You'll get one of these guys coming your way. They'll be like, I love you, Melissa. You're the only one for me.
It's been a long year since I've done a Ring cameras video, and as it turns out, people are still creeps and a lot of new videos have surfaced, so let's look at some of them.
This first video is a very real and grisly reminder that danger can be following you anywhere at any time, even to your front door. And it can be a lesson, especially for women, to be alert of your surroundings, especially before opening your front door.
As you just saw, a mother holding her infant daughter unknowingly leads a man to her front door and was mere seconds away from him getting inside. As the man approaches the driveway, you can see him pulling up the mask over his face to conceal his identity, clearly with premeditated intentions. As the man walks up the driveway, the daughter takes notice to him as the mother is still completely oblivious to the approaching threat. Luckily, she makes it inside and shuts the door in time. She only realized what had just happened after looking through the terrifying Ring footage. The woman made a report to the police as soon as she saw the footage, and what the police said was disturbing. There had been a series of reports of a brutal and violent rapist in the area who had been targeting women and children. It's suspected that he and this man were the same person. No sane person leaves their house with a full face mask such as this one if they're not knowingly about to commit a serious crime and want to conceal their identity. The woman in the video just may have saved her and her child's life just by the skin of her teeth. If you're not convinced of just how often this kind of thing happens, here's a similar video. A young college-age looking girl is coming home, letting herself into her house. Not even 5 seconds after she enters the home, two large men step on the porch, and the one in front immediately tries to open the door. Some people think the men looked genuinely confused and may have had the wrong house. However, the short window of time between the girl entering the house and the men stepping on the porch would have definitely allowed them to see the girl. You'd think anyone who just tries to open the door to a house surely must know they have the right house, or at the very least, know who lives in the house. It could also be argued that when the man turns to his friend behind him, he's making mention of the camera, and so he pretends to think he has the right house by sticking around and knocking, despite the obvious screams from the girl inside as she notices the men at the door. It seems they only run off after the girl starts screaming, "We're calling the police." So unlike the first video, there's no 100% proof of whether these guys had bad intentions or not. Whether they were trying to grab the girl,
or if they genuinely had the wrong house is up for debate, as there's no further info on this video. If it is the second one, still, everything about the men's actions was sketchy. In this video, on the other hand, what's going on couldn't be more clear. In the early morning hours on October 16th in Kent, Washington, a couple's seen returning home. The husband is seen unlocking the door, and seconds later, as the man's wife follows behind, she turns her head to a gun-wielding suspect chasing behind her. She acts quickly and runs inside, locking the front door. The suspect then spots the Ring camera and hits it repeatedly with his gun, effectively breaking the device. It's at this time that you can notice a second man there as well. The couple spent their night at a casino, and for this reason, the wife believes the two men followed them home from the casino, hoping to rob them of any of their winnings. Fortunately, they made it inside safely. The suspect with the gun was identified by police as 18-year-old Al-Hussein Drameh, and he was arrested on October 26th. He faced multiple charges, including burglary in the first degree, and he pleaded not guilty to all of them. With this fourth video, we move to something a little more paranormal. This was caught on a TikToker named Nolan Brock's indoor Ring security camera while he was sleeping on the couch. At 1:39 in the morning, he's awoken to the pantry doors opening and some kind of cracks or bangs coming from either inside the pantry or from the doors themselves. With the fan running, the thought of it being a draft wasn't out of the question per se. He ignored it and tried to go back to sleep. But 4 minutes later, at 1:43, this happened.
Exactly.
One of the doors is aggressively yanked shut. And this officially removes any possibility of a draft being the cause of the doors moving. It's safe to assume he slept in his bed the rest of the night. This next video also comes from inside of a house instead of the front porch, and this one can play on one of the biggest fears of a lot of people, and that is someone lurking around your house as you sleep. In Wichita, Kansas, a family's Ring cameras captured some terrifying video footage of a stranger standing directly over sleeping 15-year-old Anaya Robinson at around 2:30 a.m. on a Friday night. This was the footage captured. Anaya said once she opened her eyes, she felt like she was in a scene from a horror movie, seeing somebody sitting over her, watching her that she didn't know. Anaya rushed to her mother Angel's room, screaming there's somebody in the house. And after being jolted awake, Angel made sure her 2-year-old daughter and Anaya were safe in a room before calling the police. Wichita police responded quickly, but the intruder was already gone. It's likely the boy entered the house simply through the front door.
Wow.
Luckily, the Ring cameras clearly caught his face, and using this footage, the police acted on a tip and were able to arrest a 14-year-old boy whose name was not released. The boy faced aggravated burglary and theft charges. In November 2021, a woman reported on Twitter that a creepy-looking man had been standing outside of her apartment almost every night for an entire month. She included a few of the videos caught by her Ring camera, and it shows the man creepily standing there for extended periods of time, facing her door. At certain points, he can be heard speaking. But what he says is impossible to hear. The woman resorted to posting this on Twitter after her complaints to the police apparently fell on deaf ears. It was a few days after her initial post.
I don't know about y'all, but I've lived in some places where I woke up with doors slamming, or I lived at this one place where it sounded like a ball hit the ground, and then it felt like something jumped off the bed, and you could just hear, like, I don't know, like a ball rolling across the ground. And because I had hardwood floors, it was like a dog chasing the ball. But there was no dog in the house, and there was no ball in the house. So that kind of tripped me out. I don't know about y'all. Y'all have any supernatural stories?
That she posted an update stating that her friends and family confronted the man, which seemingly got him to stop. Additionally, the post going viral prompted her building security to do an additional routine throughout the night. I can't seem to find her Twitter profile anymore, so there don't appear to be any updates on the matter. And in this last video, an El Paso resident's Ring camera catches what appears at first to be a woman in danger seeking help at their front door in the middle of the night. But this may be a much more sinister situation than that. At first, the woman appears to be in distress, possibly on the run from someone, crying and pleading for help. But things start getting suspicious when she hides anytime a car is approaching.
You know what's terrible is this reminds me of the Gilgo Beach case, where that girl was running from house to house knocking on the doors, and then she finally had somebody let her in, and he was about to call the police, but she ran out, and she ended up like in the marsh area, and they found her face down. Just very tragic. Like, she looks like she needs help, but would you open the door at this time of night with this person? And what you've just seen, I mean, it could be a setup. You just don't know.
Is she hiding from a specific person chasing after her? Or is she perhaps trying to not be seen from any passerbys? After the neighbor's driveway light turns on, a car's headlights approach from the right, and she's seen casually walking away, presumably to get in that unseen car, perhaps because her driver was growing paranoid that too much attention was being drawn, so they needed to leave. Now you could say that's just a far-fetched theory of mine, but a month later, El Paso police arrested a woman who was charged with burglary of habitation. That woman was Krista Nicole Cordeaux. The woman in the video looks identical to the woman in this mugshot. The charge this woman faced is defined as the act of entering any building illegally with the plan to do something serious, such as harming the owner, damaging property, or stealing. Suddenly, the prospect that this woman could have been trying to trick an unsuspecting person into opening their door doesn't seem so far-fetched. As always, keep your doors locked and be careful who you open them to.
I'm going to show y'all one more video, but this has nothing to do with any of this. It's a pretty chill video.
American eats at McDonald's 55 times a year. That's like having Ronald McDonald as your personal chef for almost 2 months straight. But before you grab those car keys for another McVisit, there's something you should probably know. Remember when your mom used to say, "You are what you eat"? Well, if that's true, most of us are walking, talking about science experiments thanks to McDonald's burgers. Last week, I found a McDonald's burger I'd forgotten in my car from, wait for it, 3 weeks ago. The scary part? It looked exactly the same as the day I bought it. Not a spot of mold, not even a weird smell. My leftover homemade burgers turn into science projects after just 3 days. A regular burger has about 5 to 6 ingredients: meat, salt, pepper, and maybe some garlic or herbs if you're feeling fancy. But grab your reading glasses, because a McDonald's burger ingredient list reads like a chemistry textbook. We're talking about 70 different ingredients. That's not a burger. That's a science fair project that somehow ended up in the food industry. But what really gets me is the beef situation. While McDonald's claims to use 100% beef, they've mastered the art of making it taste the same everywhere. Every time. It's like they've discovered some sort of meat-flavored clone stamp tool in Photoshop, but for burgers. A friend of mine who used to work at a meat processing plant told me they use something called pink slime. Basically, all the leftover bits of meat cleaned with ammonia. Yummy, right? But the head-scratcher is that these burgers are practically immortal. Scientists have kept McDonald's burgers for years, and they look practically the same as day one. One researcher in Iceland even has a burger from 2009 on display in a glass case. It looks better than I do on most Monday mornings. The burger has its own webcam and everything. It's probably more famous than most Instagram influencers at this point. You might be thinking, well, maybe it's just really good preservation techniques? Sure. And maybe my cat is secretly writing a novel when I'm not home. The truth is, real food should decompose. If bacteria, which usually love a good meat feast, won't touch your burger, maybe that's nature's way of waving a big red flag. You'd think with all these chemicals, the healthiest choice would be to grab a salad instead. But McDonald's definition of healthy might just be their biggest illusion yet. 730 calories. That's how many calories are in a McDonald's Southwest salad with crispy chicken and dressing. For comparison, a Big Mac has 563 calories. You read that right. Choosing the healthy option at McDonald's is like going to a casino to save money. My friend Sarah spent an entire month eating only McDonald's salads, trying to lose weight. The only thing that got lighter was her wallet. The yogurt parfait might be the greatest magic trick McDonald's has ever pulled. It looks innocent enough. Yogurt, berries, granola. Sounds like something your fitness instructor would approve of, right? Wrong. One parfait packs 22 grams of sugar. That's more than 2 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. They've basically created a dessert and convinced everyone it's a breakfast health food. That's not marketing. That's straight-up sorcery.
I love Krispy
The
Kreme
psychology behind
donuts.
these healthy menu items is brilliant in an evil genius sort of way. McDonald's knows that when someone in a group wants to eat healthy, they can stop that person from vetoing McDonald's altogether. Look, we have salads, they say. It's like putting a treadmill in a candy store. It's not there for you to use. It's there to make you feel better about buying the candy. The only product we'll ever promote on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, a veteran prepper, about 126 superfoods and preservation methods from crisis times like the Great Depression and wartime that are impossible to find elsewhere. We decided to promote his book because we are the last generation able to share these techniques and superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to see this information about highly nutritious foods and preservation methods to survive crises disappear. You can check it out in the description of this video down below. My personal favorite is their sliced apple bags. They took nature's perfect snack, cut it up, added preservatives to keep it from browning, and somehow made it less healthy than the original apple. It's like they're saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Unless it's our apple, then maybe keep the doctor's number handy. A nutritionist once told me that if you want to eat healthy at McDonald's, you should order a burger without the bun, no fries, and a water. At that point, you might as well just go home and eat a plain hamburger patty in your kitchen while staring at the wall. At least you'd save some money.
Wow. We're not done yet. It gets better. I'm not trying to ruin y'all's experience with McDonald's. I know a lot of people love it. But just be mindful that it has a lot of sodium in their food.
And if you're thinking of treating yourself to dessert instead, good luck with that broken ice cream machine. Sorry, our ice cream machine is down. These 6 words have probably crushed more dreams than any high school rejection letter. It's become such a universal experience that people have actually created apps to track which McDonald's have working ice cream machines. That's right. There are literally tech startups dedicated to helping you find a working McFlurry. If that's not a sign of how bad things have gotten, I don't know what is. The numbers are wild. A recent survey found that about 30% of McDonald's ice cream machines are out of service at any given time. That's nearly 1/3 of all machines.
I
If
can't tell you
airlines
when
had
the
the
last
same
time
failure
was I had a
rate, we'd
McFlurry.
all still be traveling by horse and carriage. But these machines aren't actually broken most of the time. They're just throwing a tantrum. The machines are made by a company called Taylor, and they're basically the divas of the fast food equipment world. They require a 4-hour cleaning cycle every night. And if something goes even slightly wrong during this process, they lock up tighter than Fort Knox. Only certified Taylor technicians can unlock them. And guess who makes a fortune from repair calls? Ding, ding, ding. Taylor. A former McDonald's worker told me the secret menu of error codes on these machines is thicker than my high school chemistry textbook. There are more than 20 different error codes, and each one requires a different troubleshooting process. The poor employees often can't do anything except stare at the machine like it's a modern art piece they're pretending to understand. The whole situation has gotten so ridiculous that it's sparked multiple lawsuits. Franchise owners are suing because they're losing money. Customers are suing because they can't get their ice cream fix. And somewhere in the middle, that Taylor machine is probably laughing at all of us. At least there's one menu item you can always count on getting. Those famous fries. Though after learning what's in them, you might wish they were broken too. There's this amazing museum.
See, this next part depressed me a little bit because I love their French fries. Their French fries are why I go to McDonald's at all. But this kind of depressed me.
In Iceland that displays a McDonald's meal from their last restaurant before it closed in 2009. The fries look exactly like they did when they were served. Perfectly golden. No mold. Not even a hint of decay. My grandmother kept her wedding dress in pristine condition for 60 years. And these fries might give it some competition for best preserved item of the century. The curator just dusts them off occasionally, like they're some ancient artifact, which, I guess, technically, they are now, just not the kind Indiana Jones would get excited about. Here's a fun science experiment. Take some McDonald's fries and some homemade fries, put them side by side, and wait. The homemade fries will start growing things that would make a biology teacher excited within a week. But the McDonald's fries? They'll just sit there, mocking the laws of nature, looking exactly the same as they did on day one. It's like they've discovered the fountain of youth, but instead of sharing it with humans, they gave it to potatoes. A food scientist once explained to me that real potatoes contain enough moisture and nutrients to make them a paradise for bacteria and mold. But McDonald's fries go through so many processes and get loaded with so many preservatives that they're basically mummified before they even hit the fryer. They're like the ancient Egyptian pharaohs of fast food, preserved for eternity, but probably not something you want to put in your mouth. And don't get me started on the salt content. One medium serving of these eternal fries contains enough sodium to make a cardiologist faint. It's like they're trying to preserve us along with the fries. Maybe that's their secret plan: turn all their customers into human jerky. Speaking of mysterious processed foods, have you ever wondered what you're really eating at 4 a.m. when those McNugget cravings hit? Ring, ring. Welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to try our McNuggets? Those words at 4 a.m. hit differently. We've all been there. It's the middle of the night, you're hungry, and somehow those golden nuggets of mystery meat seem like the answer to all of life's problems. But that's when the real questions start popping up in your head. What am I actually putting in my body right now? The ingredient list for McNuggets reads like a final exam in advanced chemistry. There's this one ingredient called dimethylpolysiloxane, the same stuff they put in silly putty. McDonald's says it's just an anti-foaming agent for the cooking oil. I say, if you need to add anti-foaming agents to your chicken, maybe we should reconsider our life choices. The chicken part of the McNugget makes up about half of what you're eating. The other half, a mix of corn derivatives, leavening agents, and dextrose, which is basically a fancy way of saying sugar. Yes, they put sugar in their chicken. It's like they looked at a piece of chicken and thought, you know what this needs? Everything but chicken. A food scientist once broke down the manufacturing process for me. First, they take chicken parts and grind them into a paste. Then they add stabilizers, preservatives, and flavoring. Finally, they shape this mixture into those 4 famous shapes: the bell, the bow tie, the ball, and the boot. That's right. McNuggets come in exactly 4 shapes. It's like chicken Tetris, but everything is processed into oblivion. In a blind taste test, most people can't tell the difference between a McNugget and a nugget made from compressed paper towels soaked in chicken broth. I'm not making this up. This was an actual experiment done by food researchers. Their conclusion? We're not really tasting chicken anymore. We're tasting salt, sugar, and childhood memories. But if you think the nuggets are questionable, wait until you hear about those suspiciously perfect breakfast eggs. Because those perfectly round eggs on your McMuffin have more ingredients than your grandmother's secret cookie recipe. A real egg needs exactly 1 ingredient: an egg. But McDonald's eggs? They've turned breakfast into a science project with nearly 20 ingredients, including something called liquid margarine. My cousin works at a food manufacturing plant that supplies McDonald's. He told me they pre-cook the eggs, freeze them, then ship them to stores where they're reheated. The eggs arrive in perfectly shaped discs, like someone took a normal egg and put it through a Play-Doh mold factory. It's the only egg I've ever seen that comes with an instruction manual. The funny part is how they market these as freshly cracked eggs. Sure, they were freshly cracked 3 weeks ago in a factory 500 miles away. The only thing fresh about them is the heating lamp they sit under. It's like calling a frozen TV dinner home-cooked because you turned on your microwave. Here's a fact that'll ruin your breakfast. Those fluffy scrambled eggs in your breakfast burrito? They come in a milk carton, not a regular milk carton. A massive industrial-sized carton filled with yellow liquid that looks like something from a sci-fi movie. The employees just shake it up and pour it on the grill. My friend who worked the breakfast shift said it reminded her of the stuff they used to make slime with in elementary school science class. The weirdest thing about these eggs isn't even their ingredients. It's how unnaturally perfect they look. Every egg is exactly the same size, the same shape, the same yellow color. It's like they're trying to make breakfast look like an Instagram filter. In nature, no two eggs are identical. At McDonald's, they've somehow managed to clone breakfast. Speaking of making things look perfect, you wouldn't believe the tricks McDonald's uses to get you to spend more money. Let's start with the color. Red and yellow will make you hungry. That's not just a random design choice. That's science. McDonald's picked these colors back in the 1960s.
Yeah, I didn't know this part right here.
Because research showed they trigger appetite. It's like they're playing Hunger Games with our brains, and we're all tributes who volunteered without knowing it. Their menu screens are basically a masterclass in money extraction. They put the most profitable items at eye level, right where your eyes naturally land. Those cheap dollar menu items? They're hiding in the corner like teenagers who didn't get invited to prom. A marketing expert once told me that McDonald's rearranges their menu boards more often than I rearrange my furniture, all based on what they want us to buy that month. And don't get me started on their value meals. The only real value is the extra profit they make. Here's some math that'll blow your mind. Buying items separately often costs less than the combo meal. But we're all programmed to think combo total savings, like it's hardwired into our DNA. Last week, I ordered everything separately and saved $2.47. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, that's like half a gallon of gas these days. The most impressive is their use of smells. Those vents pumping out French fry aroma? They're strategically placed to hit you right when you're deciding what to order. My car automatically turns into the drive-through lane whenever it smells those fries. I'm pretty sure McDonald's has trained it like Pavlov's dog. Studies show that 70% of McDonald's customers end up spending more than they planned, just because of how the menu is designed. The, "Would you like to supersize that?" The question alone boosted their profits by millions before they officially retired it. Now they just have different words for the same trick. Would you like to make that a large? Same game, new name. But what happens when you finally break free from the golden arches? Well, my friend tried it for a month, and the results were pretty shocking. My friend thought quitting McDonald's for a month would be easy. 3 days in, his car was still automatically turning into the drive-through lane, like it was possessed by the ghost of Ronald McDonald. Old habits die hard,
Yes, they do.
especially when they're deep-fried. But then, the changes started rolling in faster than a drive-through order timer. His wallet got fatter. Those cheap meals were actually costing him about $200 a month. The physical changes came next. That puffy, "I just woke up in a salt mine," look disappeared from his face. His skin cleared up like he'd discovered some expensive beauty secret. Nope, just the magic of not eating food that has more preservatives than a mummy's tomb. His blood pressure dropped so much that his doctor called to make sure the reading wasn't a mistake. An average McDonald's meal packs about 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That's more than half your daily limit in one sitting.
God.
By the end of the month, Tom had lost 11 pounds without changing anything else in his routine. Did my friend swear off McDonald's forever? Not exactly. He still goes occasionally. He's human after all. But now it's a conscious choice, rather than an autopilot response to hunger. As he puts it, it's like that ex you know isn't good for you. You might grab coffee once in a while, but you're not giving them a key to your house again.
That's interesting because if I ever go to McDonald's again, I'll probably just get the hamburger patty and a cup of water. Good grief. Yeah, salt is pretty good, but I try not to have a lot of salt. And you know, salt dehydrates you, so does drinking soda. So think of all the soda that you drink while you're in McDonald's and all that salt that's in the food. You're extremely dehydrated, so your body is bloating because it's needing water. But we don't realize that. We just add more food to it. Yeah, it's okay once in a while. I didn't play that to try to guilt anybody to stop McDonald's. I'm not going to boycott it. I just realized the longer I go without it, the first time I eat it, again, it just, it's painful. Hurts my stomach every time. So I hope y'all enjoyed the presentation tonight. It wasn't true crime, even though it did have some life lessons in those video ring cam videos. Hopefully you enjoyed those. Hopefully that, you know, sometimes learning is fun. You don't have to always be hit over the head with the goriest details or continue to repeat the same thing you've heard over and over and over. You know, sometimes it's okay just to look at other things and still learn at the same time. How many of y'all are going to still eat McDonald's? I was cool with hot dogs until I learned what was in hot dogs. I still eat them, though. It's not like I'm one of those people to be like, oh, no, I know what's in a hot dog. I'm not eating it. You know, you get hungry enough, you forget about what's in it. You're just going to eat that hot dog and go about your business. Your business. You know, nothing beats a homemade hamburger, though. Nothing does. And homemade French fries, you can't beat those either. You know, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your dinner, Bullets. Your husband's really nice for bringing y'all dinner. We're just talking about McDonald's and all the things that McDonald's does. I don't know. McDonald's is something that you eat when you're on vacation. You know, you don't feel like fighting through a lot of different things. And if you have kids in the car, what kid doesn't like McDonald's? I like Roadhouse. It's yummy too. I love their rolls. As you can probably tell. You're not ever eating there again? Come on, Leslie. You'll be getting coffee in the morning and you'll get you probably an Egg McMuffin. You know what I mean? Those are my things. I like the Egg McMuffins for breakfast and the little breakfast burritos. And I don't really like their coffee. It's too sweet. But their hamburgers, I go with the quarter pounders, you know. Yeah, homemade fry sauce. Well, I've never really made homemade fry sauce, but that sounds delicious nonetheless. You're calling bullshit. Yeah, the McMuffin's my favorite, you know, for breakfast. You know, sometimes I get an oatmeal if I'm feeling guilty. But as you've seen, there's a lot of processed stuff in this food to keep it fresh longer. I think they've just gone overboard. They've kind of taken out the flavoring, you know. I don't care if the buns look. I mean, I was looking at something this weekend on this stuff, and I noticed that the buns are all made the same in the same factory with the same sesame on them and everything. And it's like, you ever notice that the buns taste different? They taste kind of, I don't know. They don't taste real. They don't taste like any bread I've ever tasted. Nope, that was our go-to on a Saturday morning, but not no more. Come on, Leslie. All of that fast food is that way, so not good for you, but we do it. Of course we do. Just kind of like a couple years ago, we heard that Subway was putting sawdust in their bread. And how many people were ingesting sawdust through the bread that they were eating? You know, all the ingredients, if you really broke down the places where you eat, there's all kinds of stuff that's used for other things. They've just been able to maneuver it in a way where it's used in another direction that makes our lives even, quote unquote, easier. See, I didn't know that little parfait, that yogurt parfait, was that full of sugar. I thought, well, I'll get the parfait and an oatmeal, and that should be pretty healthy. Little did I know. And the salads, I mean, come on. The salads have more calories in them than the burger. It's just interesting that, you know, sometimes when you find out stuff. And the chicken is full of sugar. No wonder kids want to eat chicken McNuggets. I like the McNuggets from Wendy's myself, but, you know, they're probably just the same. I don't see one chain really being much different than the others. You know, we really don't know what we're eating half the time, as long as it tastes and smells like something we've eaten way back when. Our memory says, okay, this is good. Let's go for it. I mean, how many of y'all love Chick-fil-A? Do you really know what's in Chick-fil-A chicken? No. But if you did, you'd still go. But it's almost 2 hours in, and I gotta get off here. I really appreciate you guys spending your evening with me, those of you on Facebook and those of you in the YouTube land. My subs in the chat, say hello to all the Facebook people that are watching. And hopefully you weren't too bored in these videos and commentary. Bullet says, my 7-year-old had to switch to gluten-free about 6 months ago, so it has he changed out habits some? Yeah. There's a lot of gluten in that bread, and a lot of it, you know? Yeah, there's no chicken in them. It's just breading and sugar and everything else. You know what you can do is you can get you a paper towel, dip it in chicken broth, and dip it in flour and spices and everything. Most people won't know the difference. Melissa, stay off the beer and the wheat, and, you know, you'll be all right. The barley and everything else, you'll be okay. But you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. You know how we do. Let's see which one I'm going to put in tonight. Maestro, cue that music.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules my life destroyed.
Yes, it's an awesome song. It is and always will be my song, no matter where else you hear it. I've been playing it for a long, long time. And just other people have latched on it. And, you know, you can't copyright something that's not yours. But y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll see y'all soon.